In 2017, Sarah was a college student working part-time as a pizza delivery driver in Chicago. One night, she received an order for an apartment in a notoriously rundown complex. When she arrived, the building looked decrepit, with flickering lights and a musty smell. She knocked on the door of apartment 3B, but no one answered. As she turned to leave, the door creaked open slightly. A young boy, no older than 7, peeked out and whispered for her to come in and place the pizza on the table. Sarah hesitated but entered, noticing the apartment was sparsely furnished and eerily quiet. The boy vanished down a dark hallway, and as Sarah placed the pizza down, she heard soft sobbing. Concerned, she called out, but there was no response. She left quickly, feeling uneasy. The next day, Sarah mentioned the strange encounter to a coworker, who told her a chilling tale. A family in that apartment had been brutally murdered a decade ago, and no one had rented it since. The boy Sarah saw matched the description of one of the victims. In 2014, a seasoned pizza delivery driver was working a late-night shift in a small town in Ohio. He received an order for an address on the outskirts of town, known for its eerie, abandoned houses. As Matt approached the destination, he noticed the house was dark and looked vacant. Despite his instincts, he decided to deliver the order. When he knocked, a frail, elderly woman answered, her appearance unsettling. She insisted he bring the pizza inside since she had difficulty walking. Matt reluctantly stepped in, and the smell of decay and mold hit him. The house was filled with old, dusty furniture and bizarre symbols drawn on the walls. The woman vanished into another room, leaving Matt in the dimly lit hallway. Suddenly, he heard whispers and footsteps coming from the basement. Panic set in, and he bolted out of the house. Back at the pizzeria, he recounted the incident to his coworkers, who were skeptical until they researched the address. They found out that the house had been abandoned for years after a gruesome murder-suicide involving an elderly couple. No one lived there since. In 2019, Jake was a pizza delivery driver in a quiet suburb of Seattle. One evening, he was assigned to deliver a large order to a newly built house on the edge of a forest. The neighborhood was still under development, with few residents. When Jake arrived, the house was brightly lit, and a middle-aged man greeted him warmly, paying for the pizzas in cash. As Jake was about to leave, the man offered him a tip if he helped carry the pizzas to the kitchen. Jake agreed but felt an odd vibe. Inside, the house was immaculate but oddly sterile, with no personal items or photos. Suddenly, Jake noticed a locked door with strange symbols carved into it. The man caught him staring and abruptly changed his demeanor, becoming aggressive and insisting Jake leave immediately. Jake hurried out and drove back to the pizzeria, unnerved. That night, he couldn't shake the feeling something was terribly wrong. The next day, news broke about a police raid at the same house, uncovering a human trafficking operation. The customer was arrested, and authorities found evidence linking him to multiple disappearances in the area. Jake realized how close he had come to becoming another victim.